pursuant to Order 9Rule16 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives.
Order.
The House recalls that on 9 March 2017, a motion titled Urgent Need for Investigation into Allegations of Abuse, Breach and Violation of the Public Procurement Act 2007 by the Federal Inland Revenue Service was moved and negatived. The House also recalls that soon thereafter, fresh facts were made available which would have influenced the House to pass the motion if they had been available then. Aware that all agencies of the federal government are obliged to comply with the provisions of the Public Procurement Act 2007 in their procurement of goods, works, and services. The House also notes that Section 16(6)(d) and 8(d) of the Public Procurement Act provides as follows. 6. All bidders in addition
Order, please. Honorable colleagues, order, please.
All bidders, in addition to requirements contained in any solicitation document, shall D, have fulfilled all its obligations to pay taxes, pensions, and social security contributions. 8. Whenever it is established by a procuring entity or the bureau that any of or a combination of situations set out exists a bidder may have its bid or tender excluded from any particular procurement proceeding if. The House also notes that Section 6(3) of the Industrial Training Fund ITF Act 2011 provides that any supplier, contractor, or consultant bidding or soliciting contracts, businesses, goods and services from any federal government ministry, department, agency, commercial, industrial, and private entity shall fulfill statutory obligations of its employees with respect to payment of training contributions to the fund. The House is also aware that on 7 December 2016, the Federal Inland Revenue Service awarded a contract to Active Solutions Integrated Synergy Limited for the deployment of revenue monitoring solutions on telecommunication companies, specifically for international voice, internet, and other value-added network services to the FIRS. The House is concerned that the FIRS awarded the contract to ASISL, notwithstanding the fact that the company was incorporated at the Corporate Affairs Commission on 2 December 2016, just 2 working days before the award was made, which is indicative of the fact that the provisions of the Public Procurement Act 2007 and other subsidiary legislations were not complied with. Yes. The House further notes that the FIRS recently engaged the services of 100 tax consultants to conduct tax audit and assessment of companies in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. However, the engagement process was not made public and was not competitive as required by law. The House is also concerned that the current anti-corruption war will be frustrated if statutory breaches like this are allowed to continue unchecked, and that it will promote mediocrity, cronyism, and may undermine the purpose of inbuilt checks in the procurement system. The House therefore resolves to rescind its decision on Thursday, 9 March 2017, and mandate the Committee on Public Procurement to investigate the above allegations and report back to the House in 6 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman, Rules and Business. This motion came and there was a resolution of the House on it. I did warn that because the nature of the motion was speculative, but if there's any shred of evidence that proves, that gives us a compelling reason to go in for this investigation, then we'll have to rescind the decision. The reason being that all of us are under the oath, are under oaths to defend and protect our laws. And that is the only reason why powers are conferred on the National Assembly by Section 88 of the Constitution to inquire into acts that are capable promoting corruption, inefficiency, and waste in the execution of our laws. So what my ruling would be is that the Deputy Minority Leader tells us the evidence that he has come across. And then once that evidence tendered, if it is accepted, then we have the moral responsibility to say whether we will go ahead and investigate in line with the powers conferred on us under Section 88 of the Constitution, or we will not. And in that case, we'll be setting a precedent that will affect other motions that will come here alleging that there have been breaches in some agencies of government. So I want to say this so that it is clear to us about the decision that we're about to take. So the motion has been moved, it's been seconded. Go ahead, present the evidence as to why we should rescind our decision, and then maybe subsequently we can take the major motion. Let's take the motion for rescission today, and then we'll come with another motion for consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The evidence is simple and straightforward. 1st of December. We also wrote and got the procurement from the procurement department of FIRS when they engaged ASISL Limited, which is on the 2nd of December. There's what other, this is a day after. I don't think there's any other evidence we need, and they're all here. So if you want, I can lay it. Anything the House says, we will do. But it's all here. I can't think of any other evidence, unless we say we're not battling corruption. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
It was registered 2 days, a day and the next day, given the contract. That's the nature of evidence. So the only thing we can do, because of the ruling that we should take the rescission first and then the motion can come, maybe there has to be an amendment in the prayer so that we can delete the segment that said we should rescind, and so we'll stop at rescission first, then the main motion can come. Honorable Osai.
I remain Honorable Osai Nicholas Osai. I represent Doko Okwani Federal Constituency of Delta State. The amendment is very simple, Mr. Speaker, that the House rescind his decision earlier reached as regards the investigations in line with the complete violation of the Procurement Act earlier reached, and allow such motions to be tabled before the House. I so move.
Seconder.
I represent the Oshogbo Federal Constituency. That was why I stood up in the first instance. Let the prayer of the motion be rescission. The person who is going to move the motion is now going to cite a point of order based on the point of order that I cited. He is adequately covered and protected to now move a substantive motion based on that rule. So let the prayer be the rescission. The man will call for a point of order, he cites it, and he moves his motion if you rule accordingly. That is the elegance of the parliamentary thing. Right?
Well, yeah, if we want to proceed that way, there's no problem. It's covered by our rules as well, but I thought we should see.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. My federal constituency, Mr. Speaker, I'm from Abia State. I rise to second this motion ably moved by Honorable Nicholas Osai. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
So those in favor of the amendment say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Those in favor of the motion as amended say aye. Those against it say nay. The ayes have it. So it's for the Deputy Minority Leader to decide if he wants to take the motion immediately or postpone it to Tuesday, so that members can prepare to defend it.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Well, riding on Order 8Rule16, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to move that I take the motion the substantive motion right now.
Second, Honorable Hassan. So, Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Need for the investigation into allegations of abuse, breach, and violation of the Public Procurement Act 2007 by the Federal Inland Revenue Service. The House recalls that the House is aware that all agencies of the federal government are obliged to comply with the provisions of the Public Procurement Act 2007 in their procurement of goods and services. The House notes that Section 16(6)(d) and 8(d) of the Public Procurement Act provides as follows. All bidders, in addition to requirements contained in any solicitation documents, shall have fulfilled its obligations to pay taxes, pensions, and social security contributions. Whenever it is established by a procuring entity or the Bureau that any of a combination of situations set out exists, a bidder may have its bid or tender excluded from any particular procurement proceeding. The House also notes that Section 6(3) of the Industrial Training Fund Act 2011 provides that any supplier, contractor, or consultant bidding or soliciting contracts, businesses, goods, and services from any federal government, ministry, department, agency, commercial, industrial, and private entity shall fulfill statutory obligations of his employees with respect to payment of training contribution to the fund. The House is also aware that on 2nd December 2016, the Federal Inland Revenue Service awarded a contract to Active Solutions Integrated Synergy Limited for the deployment of revenue monitoring solutions on telecommunication companies, specifically for international voice, internet, and other value-added network services for the FIRS. The House is concerned that the FIRS awarded contracts to ASISL, notwithstanding the fact that the company was incorporated at the Corporate Affairs Commission on 2nd December, just 2 working days before the award was made, which is indicative of the fact that the provisions of Public Procurement Act 2007 and other subsidiary legislations were not complied with. The House further notes that the FIRS recently engaged the services of 100 tax consultants to conduct tax audit and assessment on companies in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. However, the engagement process was not made public and was not competitive as required by law. The House is also concerned that the current anti-corruption war will be frustrated if statutory breaches like this are allowed to continue unchecked, and that it will promote mediocrity and may undermine the purpose of inbuilt checks in the procurement system. The House resolves to mandate the Committee on Public Procurement to investigate the above allegations and report back to the House within 6 weeks for further legislative actions. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Second, Honorable.
I'm from Akwa Ibom State, the state of uncommon transformation, and I represent the good people of Ikono in the federal constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second this motion, ably moved. I so second.
All the amendments Honorable Ali suggested as seconded have always been wonderful. So I'll put the question, those in favor of these amendments say aye. Aye. Those against it say nay. The nays have it. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Those against it say nay. I will have to repeat the question. I'll put the question because I didn't hear very well and I don't want to get it wrong. Yes, I don't want to get it wrong. I must get it right. So I'll put the question again.
Order, please. Order, please. Order, please, honorable colleagues.
Honorable Osai, what I say?
Mr. Speaker, sir. Just an advice.
Order, please. Order, please.
Mr. Speaker, just an advice. Just an advice. Just an advice. Mr. Speaker, I am not questioning honorables.
Honorable colleagues, order.
Osai,
Order, please.
Honorable Wasai, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, at the time, Mr. Speaker, I'm not questioning your decision on the earlier ruling. But, Mr. Speaker, the earlier ruling for the First Amendment by Bago, members did not hear it well. Members did not hear it well.
Honorable Wasai, can you take your seat, please? Please, let's have one house. I want to put the question. I don't know what Honorable Chidoka want to say. What again? Yes, let me listen to you.
The way this motion has been brought up,
Honorable colleagues, order, please.
and the wrong course that has come out of it, I think a ruling was about to be taken. The nays have expressed, you have not ruled. Okay, what I was trying to say is, it appears this is very rancorous. As you said, it has been speculative. It's a speculative motion. By the way you label it as the
Honorable
speaker,
colleagues, order, please.
that is speculative, and by the way
Order,
the mover
please,
of the motion
honorable
votes it,
colleagues.
and those who want to support him also became speculative. This House should not be speculative in taking a decision.
Okay,
Order,
honorable
please.
colleagues, please.
Honorable colleagues, order.
I have to put the question. No amendment. I'll just put the question and then we'll take the decision and move on. Those in favor of the motion, as moved, say aye. Those against it, say nay. The ayes have it.